Yeah, 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 yeah. I was sleeping, had to wake up. Why? Every reason I can think of. God, till the day I keep the ink up. And my priorities.
What's up, YouTube? Today we will be looking at disturbing TikToks that'll make you question reality. So without further ado, welcome to Adam Strain Reacts. Let's get her done.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Ghislaine Maxwell was one of the most prolific Reddit users of all time and was a moderator of the subreddit World News, among others? Allow me to introduce you to Maxwell Hill, Reddit user. Actually, the very first Reddit user to ever get 1 million karma points. Active since 2006, okay? It actually is the 14th highest karma receiver on Reddit in the history of Reddit, this account. I should also point out that her family in Britain lives at Headington Hill Hall. Maxwell Hill, anyone? But you guys want to hear something kind of interesting? Maxwell Hill hasn't made a post in over 4 years, after posting every damn day, pretty much. So, right when Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested back in 2020, Maxwell Hill, the Reddit account, stopped posting. That's interesting. Let's take a look at some of the posts that Maxwell Hill made over the years, shall we? Meanwhile, in some American states, not only may you have sex with a 13-year-old, you may marry the 13-year-old. Oh. Out of curiosity, do you or anyone you know in other American states, apart from New Hampshire, still entertain these laws which allow 13-year-olds to marry? What the? Then there's this article. Take a look at that article. That's Maxwell Hill posted that article. I can't even read it, but yeah. And here's her griping about how it's inappropriate to approach children nowadays. In May of 2007, Madeline McCann disappeared, okay? Check this out. You can see here a large gap in Maxwell Hill's posting. And like I said, she posted every day. So that's interesting. Here's the police sketch of the suspect in the Madeline McMahon case. There's also a thread where Maxwell Hill replies to a comment in which it says, this winter doesn't start until after December 21st. Maxwell Hill said, well, my birthday's after December 21st. Ghislaine Maxwell's birthday, December 25th. That's weird. And for anyone that's going, oh, but why would she bother doing that? Take a look at what happened with 4chan. The 4chan hack revealed that most of the people posting about QAnon and other things were Mossad and CIA agents. Do you guys know who Ghislaine's dad was? I know you do. I'm going to say, it's pretty compelling. I'm going to say that is definitely her. Definitely, maybe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Crazy. That'd be crazy, though, John. That'd be just crazy.
Wow. I don't know if you guys use Reddit, but I do. And it's if you don't know what it is, it's like a community discussion board where there's a lot of different topics and people give their point of views or whatever. And then you have administrators that take care of those pages. And that's what he was referring to. He was saying that that account was the main administrator in a lot of groups, but the groups that he's talking about are not like private groups. They're groups with hundreds of thousands of people, like world news, like politics and stuff like that. So it's a very big hand in let's just say the societal perception on things, because a lot of people use Reddit as an information hub, basically. So imagine that Ghislaine Maxwell being involved with all these things is also shaping and molding more or less the societal point of view, we could say. It's very interesting. What do you guys think? Is it possible that Ghislaine Maxwell is also Maxwell Hill, that account? Let me know down below. I'd be very curious, and let's keep on rocking.
This is not some palace in Europe. This is a post office and courthouse in Louisville, Kentucky in 1893. Also bonus, take a look right over there. That nice, really ancient buried level there. They haven't probably excavated yet. All that built by horse and buggy though. 5 stories, 100 offices, and that nice, beautiful copper clock tower on top to boot. The real tragedy of this, built in 1893, or founded, should we say, and torn down in the 1930s, less than 40 years old, and it was torn down for the war effort. And let's see another thing. Look at this ancient-looking building. It's the Federal Building in Chicago. Also was a courthouse, but it was replaced with this monstrosity. They tell us they founded this building in 1905, only to demolish it in 1965, and again replace it with this eyesore. Buildings that should have lasted hundreds, if not thousands of years, torn down decades later. Impossibly beautiful old world architecture in a relatively new America. And then all the other old. This is St. Petersburg in the late 1800s. The empty and muddy streets. This is not the result of overexposure. You can even see the mud-flooded layers here in St. Petersburg. But if this was overexposure for the cameras at the time, why is there not a single blur in the street? Not a single fruit stand, an idle horse carriage, nothing. The only thing you see showing any life here are the ships. Somehow they have no problem capturing their motion, but the rest of the city is empty. And the same can be found the world over. In San Francisco, we get this eerie panorama of, again, the same empty, muddy, and abandoned streets. Not a horse carriage idly parked, not a blur, not a fruit stand, not a piece of debris. These are the empty cities, yet to be repopulated from the orphan trains and the orphan asylums, ready to be repopulated after the mud flood. If you would like to argue camera exposure, I have many, many photos.
Yo, Hebrew's all math. It's all numbers. You know that? Yeah, look. The ancient Jews used Hebrew's in the numerical system, eh? Each letter's a number. Like the Hebrew A, Aleph, it's 1. B, Bet, it's 2. You understand? But look at this. The numbers are interrelated. Like take the Hebrew word for father. Av, Aleph, Bet. 1, 2 equals 3. All right? Hebrew word for mother, Aim, Aleph, Mem. 1, 40 equals 41. Sum of 3 and 41, 44. All right? Now, Hebrew word for child. All right? Mother, father, child. Yelad. That's 10, 30, and 4. 44. Torah is just a long string of numbers. Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just kid stuff. Check this out, okay? The word for the Garden of Eden, Kedem. Numerical translation, 144. Now the value of tree of knowledge, all right, in the garden, right? Eitz HaChaim, 233. 144, 233. You can take those numbers.
You know, like the Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci
is
Roll number 1 or number 2. You can see those 3 arrows appear. That's how long you've got to do your gesture to draw a plus. And then a 7. And then 2 lines for an equals. 19.
This chip.
Wow. Can you imagine how much you feel like James Bond in 1984 with a touchscreen calculator hidden in your watch? You must have been the happiest kid in school at your math exam. Gee willikers. That is amazing.
19.
This chip that can produce basically stem cells. You guys check it out.
Only about the size of a cufflink, the device itself is small, but what it could represent is enormous. In this laboratory at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, researchers demonstrate the concept. Simply place this chip on an injured part of the body and apply a small electrical current.
This process only takes less than a second. The chip does not stay with you, and the reprogramming of the cell starts.
That reprogramming turns skin cells into nearly any type of cell doctors might need to treat a patient. A breakthrough technology in regenerative medicine. For example, in a leg that is badly injured and lacks blood flow, doctors simply touch the chip to the leg and reprogram the skin cells to become functioning blood vessels.
In many cases, in 7 days, you start seeing changes, and these changes persists.
Within a week, there are active blood vessels, and by the second week, the leg is saved. In fact, in lab tests, it even worked in the brain, helping mice recover from strokes. In humans, this could allow doctors to grow brain cells on a person's skin under the guidance of their own immune system. They could then harvest those cells and inject them into the brain to treat conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease. And no immune suppression drugs would be necessary, all by using a patient's own cells.
Wow, that's super interesting. I have a hard time to wrap my mind around how the cell is being affected by a chip. I suppose it must be through frequency. But from what I understood, the cells decide what they do based on the medium, based on what's around them. So I'm very curious to see how this develops. It looks like a very promising technology. Do you guys think it's real? Do you guys think that we could create any type of cell anywhere in our body, then harvest them, and then, wow, seems very interesting. You guys think there's any cons to this, or it's only pros? Let me know down below, and let's keep on rocking.
In a brand new way.
Electric power is everywhere, present in unlimited quantities, and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, gas, or any other fuels. Right there. And do you see this? This is a free energy device, which is very interesting. This is a ground, this is a capacitor into a conductor, and this is a simple sheet of metal that can harness the sun. Now what's interesting is I found a video the other day of solar panels being created in 1902. Now what's also interesting about 1902 is Nikola Tesla was creating inventions in 1902, and there was also a reset in 1902. So solar panels were around in 1902 and looked exactly the same as what we have in 2023. And all of these free energy patents and free energy devices were around in 1902, but then there just so happened to be a reset that took place in 1902. It's almost like they were trying to eliminate this information. What's fascinating about this is you get into this book and it shows all these things.
That's why motion picture stars are called movie stars, because in the Bible, stars were referred to as lesser illuminaries. So these lesser illuminaries are working for the big Illuminati. So the big Illuminati are using the lesser Illuminati. The lesser illuminaries are just stars.
Am I the only one, or has anyone else thought of why would the astronauts have their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Why are they actors?
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right, but notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No.
Oh, what was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
If they're not gatekeeping something down there, I don't know what this is. An amateur pilot just flew over Antarctica and is now being detained against his will. His name is Ethan Guo, and he was met with men in black suits upon landing there who placed him under arrest. Ethan was on a mission to raise $1 million for childhood cancer research by being the first person to fly solo over all 7 continents in the world. After journeying for over 360 days, the last continent on his list was Antarctica. He was flying from Chile to Argentina, performing an extended flyby of the Antarctic Rim he was later planning on going to, when poor weather conditions forced him to make an emergency landing in a public airfield on King George Island in Antarctica. At first, he was met with the airport security team and firefighting staff to make sure he was all good, and they welcomed him into their base. Everything seemed fine, and he was even clear to continue his journey after about an hour, when all of a sudden, men in black clothing came and arrested him as he was about to leave. They took his phone, strip searched him, inspected his entire plane, impounded it at a local hangar, and then finally placed him in a holding cell under guard supervision, denying him access to Wi-Fi or any contact with the outside world. Turns out, those men in black suits were the Chilean Navy, claiming he violated international aviation rules by submitting a false flight plan to Argentina and then faking an emergency to land in Antarctica. But as mentioned, this is a public airfield in Antarctica, which isn't owned or governed by the laws of any country in the world. And typically, emergency airplane landings grant you immunity from regulations and protocol to ensure your safety above anything else. Yet they threw all that out the window and placed him on a 90-day travel ban while they investigate, and now he's just stuck in Antarctica. And he can't even leave the facility he's in without being supervised by a guard at all times. Not like there's anywhere he can go, but he's now essentially being held hostage in the most remote continent in the world. Which begs the question, did he see something during his flight he wasn't supposed to and is now being debriefed to forget what he saw? Or does the Navy really just care about following aviation guidelines in Antarctica?
Antarctica is very interesting. The fact that all the countries got together to say, okay, no one goes there. I mean, to be honest, in this situation, he was already planning to go to Antarctica, and then he had an emergency that made him go to Antarctica. So I sort of understand that they don't truly believe in the emergency. But still very interesting, the fact that, like he said, theoretically, there's no jurisdiction because no country owns it. But at the same time, they seem like they're able to do whatever they want to do, right? So I guess we're going to have to see how this story plays out in the future. Let's keep rocking.
That much.
When you look into history, all the answers are there. You just gotta be able to decipher them. So when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. People often ask me, in these mud-flood buildings, why don't you ever find any bones? That's because they was removed. So we're talking about catacombs, and I'm gonna need you to read between the lines on this one and use some critical thinking. So they say cemeteries began to be emptied in when? 1786. That's right on time for the last reset. They say it took them over 12 years to move all the bones, numbering between 6 to 7 million. So they say it was due to a public health problem why they had to move the bodies. Now imagine people digging up 7 million decaying bodies with a disease, because remember, that was the reason why they had to move them, and then moving them up to a different location and building a catacomb out of the bones, 5 stories underground. There was no names, no dates, nothing. They like to throw a cross in there to make you think it's about religion, but you can clearly see that cross was put there at a later date. This has nothing to do with religion, and it wasn't just thrown down there randomly. Every bone was put strategically in place. These catacombs are in Paris and they're open to the public, but believe me, under every city they are hidden underground.
I've heard a lot of the official narrative on the catacombs, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I've been there once, but it still somehow doesn't sit right with me why you would do this. There has to be more efficient ways, more respectful ways to get rid of the bones and such. It's to me, it's not settled. So if anyone has any new theory as to why they did what they did underneath the catacombs, well, in the catacombs of Paris, underneath the city, please let me know down below, because I feel like I'm not satisfied with the answer yet. So I appreciate it if you write something down below. Thank you very much, and let's keep on rocking.
Catacombs.
No, we can't talk about that. That's misinformation, and we need to silence... Governments actually used to be very open about experimenting with anti-gravity in the 50s. They talked about it all the time. Many newspapers and media reported on it frequently, and the research was public knowledge, known as G-engines. Young Men magazine even once featured the headline, "The G-engines are coming, future aircraft that attain the speed of light," in 1956. But it's almost like as soon as they figured it out, they stopped reporting on it, perhaps realizing how powerful it really is, and the military wanted it all for themselves. People say many, if not most, of the UAPs in our skies today are actually just that, highly classified military projects, conducted by the likes of Lockheed Skunk Works, a highly secretive aerospace R&D division, who reverse engineered crashed alien spacecraft to replicate their technology in ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles, highly advanced spacecraft created here on Earth by humans in top secret research programs as exposed by Bob Lazar and many others. Did these extraterrestrial craft make use of the same zero-point technology that inventors have been silenced from revealing to the world, discovering that the unique manipulation of the zero-point field can actually accelerate objects in ways that our conventional physics deems impossible? Independent researchers have tried to explore this field time and time again just for them to go through the same disappearing act as everyone else, like Dr. Ning Li, who started an anti-gravity research company, AC Gravity, publishing many papers on it in the 1990s. The US government Department of Defense caught interest, issuing her a $400,000 grant in 2001 to fund her work. Then she disappeared for 13 years, reappeared again in 2014, and was immediately hit by a car, suffering permanent brain damage. These stories are all real, you can search them up yourself. And the list is endless. There are just too many incidents like these that would take too long to cover in just one video. Now, of course, Google will tell you these inventors were nothing but con men, liars, frauds, or just scientists with great ideas who didn't know any better. It will also tell you zero-point energy is impossible, and anyone who stands up for it or even talks about it is attacked or shamed for spreading misinformation. Google debunkers, compliant NPCs who believe they can irrefutably debunk any extreme claim with a 5-second Google search, truly are the downfall of society. The modern-day version of Vladimir Lenin's useful idiot. Google debunkers. Love you guys. The idea of free, clean, and unlimited energy is a concept that's just too good to be true. And if you throw in anti-gravity levitation, defying the laws of physics, space-time manipulation, potentially faster than light travel, now you're flying too close to the sun, and our modern economy has been intentionally designed in such a way that will burn the wings off anyone who does. Ha! You smooth brains make me cringe. Why would anyone ever want to hide technological breakthroughs like these? Listen, the richest companies in the world are oil and energy companies. That's a fact. They have virtually infinite money, and inventions like these would decimate their empires and the power they hold over society today. Their limitless funding allows them to do whatever they can to keep these technologies hidden if they wanted to, suppressing technology which inadvertently ends up slowing society down, increasing pollution, poverty, making energy less accessible, not progressing us into exploring the universe. Also, their trillion-dollar conglomerates can stay in business. But the science, we need to trust the science. That's all that matters to me. Ah, yes, the science, the wonderful byproduct of our totally objective, non-biased education system that need not be questioned. But do you want to know a little fun fact? So, one of the first mega successful oil suppliers in the world was a company called Standard Oil, which was founded in 1882 by this guy right here, John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest men of all time. Then in 1902, the General Education Board, GEB, is founded, devoted to the cause of improving education throughout the United States, and sorta laid the foundation and shaped our modern day education system today. The GEB was directly funded by John D. Rockefeller, the multi-billionaire who would have no reason whatsoever to condemn any technology that was detrimental to his oil business, which went on to educate the country by telling us what is true and what isn't through the programs they put in place. In 1973, Standard Oil was renamed to Exxon, one of the biggest oil conglomerates in the world. And technology that opposes their empires is still getting silenced to this day. In 2010, the Federation of American Scientists revealed that over 5,000 inventions were hit with a secrecy order in that year alone. Many of them had to do with anti-gravity, clean energy, and alternate propulsion methods like zero-point energy. And this isn't even a secret. In the 1970s, a declassified document called Patent Security Category Review List rubbed it in our faces, listing all categories of inventions that are classified as secret by law. Item 9 of those categories explicitly states energy conversion systems with conversion efficiencies in excess of 70 to 80%, outright telling us they do not allow technology that produces engines that are too efficient. But these patents aren't all hidden. information. Aerospace engineer Dr. Salvatore Pace actually has multiple patents that suspiciously sound like zero-point energy. Unlimited clean energy using quantum fluctuations, faster than light travel, anti-gravity manipulation, he's got it all. He himself even claiming to have technology that can engineer reality. And why haven't his patents been suppressed? Because they are officially owned by the US Navy, who keep the details classified and only for themselves. Which many people insist this is the technology we've been seeing flying in our skies as UAPs, undercover American projects. You're not allowed to talk like that. You present your theories as if they are fact. So we're kind of trapped in this never-ending cycle of genius inventor comes up with reality-changing zero-point technology. They understandably want recognition and compensation for their tech, so they patent it only to have it black-shelved, poached by the government, or they coincidentally have an accident and disappear. There is a solution here, but the inventors aren't gonna like it. Don't patent it, but rather release your technology to the world open source so everyone can be free to use it. And we can hopefully one day be free from the tyrannical grip of the oil and gas industrial complex once and for all. But the question remains, who, if there ever will be, the one to do that?
The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So always be a student in life. Take that to the bank.
Did you guys hear about what happened to Milwaukee? Did you guys see how it started? So this is exactly what's happening over the sky, y'all. Do y'all see this? Something is charging the earth up, y'all. And this storm span all the way from Nebraska. It hit Iowa and then Wisconsin. Check this out.
This is not time-lapse, manipulated video. This is actually live right now. The camera every once in a while moving around too, but that is a lot of lightning. And that's been happening, accompanying winds of 60, 70, even up to 90 miles an hour in the eastern part of Nebraska.
Y'all, what is going on there? That is not natural. Is this the reason why they said the Anunnaki said they moved the timeline from November to coming in about 2 weeks? Y'all heard about that? So you guys noticed that it's a little bit of rain coming down. Y'all noticed that, right?
It's just a little update.
Y'all, the whole house is underwater, and this has been going on for a number of days, y'all. Y'all heard about that? It has been raining for a few days in Milwaukee.
This is my basement that has flooded again. The water's up to the second step. And as you can see, every goddamn thing is underwater yet again. That's my new freezer that has flipped itself on the backside.
Do y'all think the mermaids have anything to do with this? Y'all know how we recently just heard the news about the mermaids? Like they've been saying, man, there is a battle for Earth right now, y'all, and the winds are kicking up where I'm at, y'all. So I'm about to go, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. The shift is here. I feel it. Let's get it. Peace in.
The fuck? I'm in the middle of traffic, bro. Would you look at this shit, bro? Look. I can't, look, everything is locked. Cybertruck deactivated. Look at this shit, bro. Cars all on the side of me, bro. What the fuck? Bro, I gotta call a Tesla, bro. What the fuck? Bro, like, what the fuck? I can't move the car, bro. I'm stranded as fuck. Hell no.
Wow. Can you imagine paying that price? But that's something that I have a hard time with, like the fact that these cars are so connected to the grid and that are so dependent on now internet, but I mean electricity and all that. I mean, never mind an EMP, but just the fact of having, a mechanical car, I find is nowadays it's like being free of any problem, because most often than not, what breaks in a car most often than not has to do with the computer inside of the car. It has nothing to do with the pieces normally. And because if the pieces do break, you could just find a replacement. There's no problem. But when it comes to the computer, then it becomes complicated. You have to bring it to the dealership or whatnot. So anyways, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we were better off when we had cars that were mechanical? Or do you find that right now the evolution is the best thing? Because the day that they decide to deactivate when you don't pay or when you don't say what they want or when you don't go where they say, I could see a problem there. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're there for our best interests, or later on this might be used against us? Well, thank you very much. That was the end. And that's a wrap for today, familia. Whether you're tuning in with the sunrise or posted up at midnight, I appreciate your time, your energy, and your curiosity. Remember, this isn't about truth or fiction, it's about perspective. So if this sparked a thought, a laugh, a deeper question, then we did our job. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep the convo alive. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell if you're riding the wave, because we're just getting started. So until next time, stay grounded, stay critical, and stay weird. I'm Adam Strain, and this has been Adam Strain Reacts. Peace.
I don't know what y'all think, but now's the time for us to link up. Really think we on the brink up, making a change from living this strange. Living this strange. Making a change from living this strange. Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.